All right, I think we got it. Check the stream. I'm going to check the stream on my laptop here just to make sure it looks okay. Let me know if the audio and video is good. Welcome to the Gym of All Trades channel, guys. Hope you guys are ready for a good live stream tonight. We're going to be as unbiased as possible, guys. Just trying to look at the market, see what it's doing. I'll show you what I'm looking at, and we'll go from there. All right, hey, that looks pretty good. All right, excellent. Stream looks all right. Good. Just wanted to check it on my laptop, make sure we're good. Let's jump into the TA, guys. I am an Elliott Wave trader. I'm going to give you an Elliott Wave perspective on the market. It's a perspective that not a lot of YouTubers share, so you can get all the other perspectives, moving averages, and everything else you want to look at from other places. I'm just going to focus in on the Elliott Wave perspective and the Elliott Wave counts. I'll show you what I'm looking at. We'll also analyze the RSI, put a couple things together, and see if we can come up with a projection for where Bitcoin might be headed. With that said, never trying to give financial advice, just always trying to share what I'm seeing in the market. All right, let's jump in, guys. I'm going to skip all the hellos, except to say hello to everybody. Welcome. Glad you're here. I see a bunch of names of people that have been here a lot. Love you guys. Glad you're here. I'm going to skip all the formalities there and jump right into the TA, okay? All right, we're going to start in the macro, then we'll move down to the micro, and then we'll go to the alts, okay? That'll be, we'll look at Bitcoin first, then we'll go to Ethereum, and we'll look at some of the alts, other alts as well, find out what the overall market's doing. I'm going to show you the SPX. I'm going to show you the DXY, and hey, somebody let me know. I know the ETF has it been approved, or is it spoken of as being approved? Is there a date or a time that approval happens? Does anybody know? If you can let me know in the comments, please. I know the ETF's been talked about, and that's what this pump. Everybody's saying this pump is. But just looking in the chat, see. Oh, okay. Monday we find out. So tomorrow. Okay, I got you. All right. Okay, so the futures ETF is starting trading tomorrow. All right. Well, expect a dump tomorrow. We'll get a pullback tomorrow for sure. If the ETF starts trading tomorrow, that's almost certain. Okay. Okay. All right. So let me show you what we're looking at, and I'll show you just some thoughts here for BTC. Let me go to the Coinbase chart, get on there, clear my chart. Let's get started. All right. Well, let's start in the macro and go from there. When you look at this wave, when you look at this wave in general, a couple without looking too carefully at Elliott, we've pulled back fairly deeply. Okay, guys, we've had a fairly steep correction. One might interpret it as 3 waves. One might interpret it as 5 waves. I tend to be one who interprets this as 3 waves. That's kind of my interpretation. So there is a chance that this correction right here was all that we got. Okay, and that was it. That was the correction. That's all there was. It wasn't complex in any way. It was simply a 3-wave move. Came down to the 168 extension, and it pulled back from this wave. On this, as we look at it, it gave all the bullish signs. That's why we were bullish at the time. We had hidden bullish divergence right here on the daily. When we were down here, guys, I was one of the only. A lot of people were very bearish down here. I was one of the only guys on YouTube calling the bull run. Okay, now here I am saying, guys, there's very bearish signals. Now it doesn't mean we definitely have to go down to 20K. We could go down to 20K, and I want you to know that from an Elliott perspective, we could go down to 20K. It is possible. Whether it's likely, that's a different story. I'm not here to tell you, but I'll tell you what I'm seeing and what I'm looking at on the charts, and you guys can make your own decisions. Okay. But we are now at a place where I'm seeing some bearish signs, at least for a largish pullback. Okay, so this pump is going to end. I'm going to give you some targets as to where I think it's going to end here shortly, but looking for a bit of a pullback, if not a very deep one. We'll see. There's all kinds of scenarios out there on the table. Okay, now let's just talk about some of the major scenarios we can talk about. Now, if this is a three-wave pullback, that means this next wave. I mean, one might argue that that's a one wave, and that we're getting a two wave. And now, guys, this is when we're going to go to the moon. That this wave is just going to keep on rocking. It's going to keep on rocking straight up, and we're going to go to 100K. Okay, for 5 waves. Now that's an ultra moon boy count. That's certainly a plausible count if you want to hold on to that opinion. That's certainly a plausible way to think about this wave. We could totally moon and go a lot bigger and a lot deeper than anybody thinks, right? So nobody knows. Nobody knows how deep that's going to. So that's one Elliott count. This was a 3-wave pullback, and now we're getting the next 5 waves in. Okay, and that could be 1, 2, and we're in the middle of the 3rd wave. Generally speaking, when you pull the fibs, I'm looking for the 2618 as big as this was. The 2618's up here for the 3rd. I guess it's up to about 102K. We pull back and then continue up for another 5th wave, and that is a 5-wave move that everybody would be bullish on, and everybody would be like, yeah, we're going to the moon. Okay, so there's the Ultra Moon Boy count. Now, what other counts can there be? What other way is there from a wave standpoint? Well, before we go on to the next wave standpoint, let me explain to you. And I'm going to ignore the chat, guys. I'm going to completely ignore you. So if you put comments and you want me to, and you expect me to look at them and interact with them, I'm just not going to do it for now. Let me do it later, okay? So I can get all my thoughts out. Because I'm here to share my thoughts, basically get them out so people can understand and interact with you. I want to interact and I want to value your opinions and your thoughts. But I don't have time to give everybody adequate time. So let me take the first part and just give all my TA, and then you guys can react, and we can interact after that. Okay, so that's going to be the way I handle the chat, guys. So anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and minimize you guys completely, and launch it. So there's a Moon Boy count. If that's the case here still, we expect this to go up in waves, okay? It's just not going to go straight up. It's going to go up in waves. So we're going to have pullbacks, okay? Now, just to give you an idea of if we get a pullback like that, okay, that's from 64. If what I just drew down to 54, that's a $10,000 pullback in Bitcoin. So you have to understand that it's becoming where you get a $5,000 or $10,000 move in Bitcoin. It's actually they're pullbacks, they're corrective waves, but they're substantial. That is a substantial could get you wrecked kind of pullback if you're not careful. So if you're just moon boying and you just think it's going to go straight up here without any kind of pullback and retrace, you're going to end up getting wrecked, especially if you're trading leveraged trades. But if you're leveraged from down here, you're probably good to go for to see if there's more upside. You can undergo a pullback here, and then go up. But nevertheless, this is gonna go up whenever 5 waves is finished. Whenever the 5 waves is finished, and it's gonna pull back. I'm gonna show you the shape that I would expect to see on the chart in just a moment. But basically, this 5th wave has to finish, and guys, it's just not done. This isn't done. We're not showing the signs of necessarily of being done quite yet. We're still working out this 5th wave. Okay, or it may not even be a fifth wave. It could be the fifth wave of the third, which we get a deeper pullback tomorrow. With the ETF approval, be some kind of a fourth wave pullback with a fifth wave coming. Okay, now let me just draw a line here across the top of the wave right here, so we know where the all-time high is. This yellow line denotes the all-time high. We're probably going to come up against it, guys, and meet some fairly strong resistance. So about 64 to 65. Probably going to hit it. We probably may even break through it and get up to 68. That gets us up to the 127 extension. Okay, that gets us up to the 127. I've been calling for let's see, 60 between 68 and 70k, and that gets us up to about 68 to 70. Gets us up to, yeah, there it is, 68, 69 in that ballpark right there. Gets us up to the 127 extension. 72k is the 1414. Okay. So that's a significant area. I would expect a pullback in these ranges. So generally speaking, we're going to have some resistance coming up here to this line, but we'll probably bust right through. We'll probably bust through. We'll have a pullback and bust through that wave. I imagine get up here to 68 to 72 range, and then have a deeper pullback. And those are the bearish signs that I'm seeing. And I'll talk about what that could do in just a moment. If the Ultra Moon Boy count, we would expect just kind of a pullback like this, okay, before we get another big wave up to the upside like so, with another pullback and finishing that out in five waves. But that would imply that this is a very big wave that we would get up way above, again, Ultra Moon Boy count, 125k on the third wave, as big as that is, okay, and as big as I'm calling that particular wave to be. So that's a potential here. But nevertheless, in this region between 68 and 72k, guys, I've got bearish counts and bullish counts that say, hey, we probably need a pullback in there. Let me talk about some other counts that you could possibly see here. So there's the Ultra Moon Boy count. This is just a 1-2. Okay, we're heading up for a third wave, fourth, and a fifth. And it's going to keep on rocking. Okay, it's going to keep on rocking. It's not going to pay attention to current events. It's not going to when the SPX, when the S&P 500 tanks, nothing's going to happen to Bitcoin. Bitcoin's just going to keep on rocking. Now I have a hard time believing that because I see a pump in the DXY coming. So when the DXY is about to pump, guys, I'm expecting Bitcoin to drop. We'll look at that in just a moment as well. What's another account that we could have that takes us up even past the all-time high and yet still comes down? Well, what we could have here right now, we've reached the 1-to-1 extension of this wave here. What we could have is an A. Come on, there we go. A, B, C working right there. So we had an ABC here, downside. Now we got another ABC to the upside that breaks the high, and this forms what we would call a flat. It would be an expanded flat where you got a three-wave move, breaks the high, okay, and then it ends up coming down very steeply in five impulse. An impulse wave, 5 waves, and the overall structure would be a larger A, B, C flat, and that would be the 3-wave correction of this. We could even we could even see 20k if that were to happen. Okay, and that kind of a play, guys, that kind of a flat, this would be congruent with a market crash that I see potentially coming in the S&P 500. I see a strong potential crash coming in the S&P 500 within the next week or two. Okay, I'm going to show you that in just a moment. But I believe that if the S&P 500 crashes with a deep and dark move, that Bitcoin and the crypto market is going to crash along with it. During the COVID dump, when the markets were crashing, Bitcoin crashed along with the rest of the market. So there was a lot of correlation between the dollar pumping and the markets crashing along with Bitcoin as well. So I see the strong potential, guys, for if the S&P 500 is going to tank, I see Bitcoin tanking as well. This isn't to say that I don't think that Bitcoin can't eventually get to 100K, but the market makers are out for liquidity, guys. Okay, they're out for liquidity. They've created a top. They created a correction. Okay, very rarely do they continue the move just straight up. Continuing. Now, what they're doing right now with this move is they're making everybody believe they're continuing the move. And when they break this high, this is what a flat does in the market. It gets everybody bullish. There are longs up here. There are short stops up here. There's all kinds of long positions between breakout traders, FOMO investors, and short stops. Okay, people who have their stops from a short. There's all kinds of long orders up in this region. So it stands to reason that we're going to have a pump here, get us up to about between 68 and 72K in that ballpark. We could get as deep as 76.8. Okay. Could get as deep as that. Let me pull the fibs one more way and see what the confluence is there with this third way of pulling the fibs. Yeah, 73.3 to 74.7 in that ballpark. So about between 68 and 75K. I'm going to be watching for a market top. Okay, that has some confluence there. That's if I have a finished 5-wave structure here in this C leg. Okay, but this is a potential market top. It's going to be a fake out to most of the market. That's what a flat does, and it'll tank so hard that everybody who's FOMO investing and FOMO buying, they're just going to end up losing. Now, this is a possible count, guys. It's a very likely count, in my opinion, based upon the idea that the S&P 500 may crash while the DXY or the dollar index begins to rise over this next week or two. All right, let me take a moment and show you the S&P 500 or the SPX chart. Now I'll show you what I'm seeing there. There we go. There's my chart. So here's the larger picture here. Okay, that we have some kind of a diagonal that formed right here. Okay, so I'm going to just draw this trend line right there. We'll draw this trend line right there. And this is just kind of a converging diagonal here. We kind of converged at the top. Smaller and smaller little humps there, letting you know this thing's about finished. Okay, it broke it and it retested it. Now I want to show you, I want to zoom in here and show you the count that I have for that region. So here's where we have. I have basically an impulse count. An impulse count takes us down to that mark right there, 5 waves. Okay, now what I have following that, let me zoom in on the 10-minute chart so you can see it a little bit better. Following that, we have a 3-wave move to the upside, denoted by that blue 3-wave move. That's my W wave. Then I've got 3 down. By the way, that measures correctively. I think that measured right to the 127 or the 1414. Let me measure that. Yep, 1414 zone under the 1618. So that's a 3-wave move. Okay, and then we got another 3-wave move here. This came down to the 1618. Now, the way I'm looking at this is that's 3 up, that's 3 down. I'm looking for 3 up. Okay, so it appears that this wave right now is the current wave needs to fizzle out, or has already fizzled out. I've got bearish divergence here. Down here we have broken the structure on the RSI. You'll see that right there. We've broken and retested and continued down. So chances are we're coming down for this X wave right here, or this B wave here, and then we're going to get a C. So we're going to get a last hurrah here. We're going to get a last pump here. It's going to come down. Okay, let's see. I'm expecting this to come down, and I don't know how fast it's going to go. It may come straight down tomorrow in a very, very steep move to the downside. But then I'm expecting a rally to follow it over the next couple of days once that downside comes down in 3 waves. So once that SPX comes down in 3 waves, we're looking for a rally back up to retest the highs somewhere here around the 127 or the 1414, anywhere between 4500 and 4522 and 4542. Okay, now if that's the case, that I'm looking at that as the B wave, or a 2 wave the second wave in an impulse to the downside, or the third wave of a correction. It could be a B wave. So if I zoom out here on the 4-hour chart, what I'm looking for, is another move, fairly steep, down back down to about $4,100. And if it starts impulsing to the downside instead of just a three wave, then we could be looking at targets down here at, oh, I don't know, about 35 to 3,600 in the S&P. I'm talking a big move to the downside. Okay, it's not going to happen in one day. It's going to go down in stages, but it's going to start. It's going to start moving down. So if the S&P does that, okay, now it's got to go up, and I think there's one more hurrah. I think there's another move to the upside coming. Even though tomorrow, I'm predicting tomorrow is probably going to be a bad day for the S&P. It may start out well, but then it probably tank once the S&P opens and gets moving. It's probably going to end up tanking. That's my take on it. Once that finishes its corrective move, I'm expecting a rally to follow it. Okay, and it's going to retest the all-time high, but I don't think it's going to break it. Okay, if it does break it, then we've got another 5 waves to the upside. But if it doesn't break it, like I'm looking at it, then down we go in crypto, down we go in the S&P. Okay, and this will be the third wave. The third wave of a 5-wave move to the downside. Okay, so big market crash has a potential to get all the way back down here. Shoot, 3,000 would probably be no problem for the S&P to get to in this first wave. You'll notice that's congruent with my analysis for the DXY. So let me show you my analysis for the DXY. And again, you guys can make your own decisions, but I'm just showing you the wave analysis that I'm seeing here on the DXY. Okay, so on the DXY, you'll notice that off the bottom here we have a three-wave move working. Okay, that we had 5 waves right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5 waves finished. Now we're getting a 3-wave pullback that should be coming back about 50 to 60% of that entire move. Okay, we expect a 50% to 60% pullback. I'm looking at targets anywhere up here between 96 and $98. Okay, for the DXY, and 95, even between 95 and 98. Okay, so I'm still looking for a move to the upside. Now this is the daily we're looking at. Okay, it's the daily. If we go down to the 4-hour chart, you'll notice that we have hidden bullish divergence in the 4-hour. Okay, in other words, we draw a line from here to there, and it's making higher highs. Okay, we go from the same point there. Okay, it's straight across. This probably has another move to the downside to go. That means we're going to get, see, that move down is going to give BTC and the SPX another move to the upside. Okay, so that quite possible here. So this comes on down. Excuse me. But there's hidden bull here. There's hidden bullish divergence. That once this finishes, it's gonna rise again. And once it rises, once this starts going up really deep and fast, that's when the SPX is gonna tank. Okay. That's when the SPX is probably going to tank once the DXY rises, makes its higher high and gets up here to its target. Starts getting up to its target. It's going to tank. Okay, so it's going to start moving its way up to here. And when this moves that way, the S&P will go down. Bitcoin will probably go down with it as well. So I'm seeing that coming. That wave is coming. Now, I don't know when it's coming and how long it's going to take to get here, because this current wave could come down. You get a 3-wave pullback, another wave like that. There's any number of things that can happen here that on the 4-hour chart on DXY that could make it take forever. It could make you wait forever. So, um, anyway, with that said, DXY, I'm looking at it to go down first. That's going to give Bitcoin and the SPX their moves to the upside, the final hurrah. And then once that's done, I'm looking for a big move up to the upside on the DXY with Bitcoin and the SPX going down. Okay? All right. So when you just start to put all that together, the coming global crisis that we have, the fact that in America, yeah, our shelves are starting to look empty. I was at the grocery store; our shelves are starting to be empty. I'm hearing stories all over the United States that we're about to have an economic crisis. Okay, it's coming, and I think it's going to be, I think the markets are going to crash along with, the fact that food is going to be hard to get, and there's stuff coming down the pipe, guys, in markets that are very, very scary. And I see these things imminently coming. They're setting up. The table is being set for a big move, and I don't know what's coming. I don't know when it's coming and how it's going to come, but it's setting the table, and I'm seeing the signs. It may not be for another week or so. It may be for quite a while. I don't know, right? But I see these signs, okay, and I'm seeing these signs on the charts that look like they're getting ready to move. The table is being set. The stage is being set. There's some crisis going to happen all over the world. COVID is probably going to be part of it. Supply chain is going to be part of it. Vaccinations will be part of it. War with countries probably will be part of it. And you just put all that together. We're in biblical times, guys. We're in just prophetic biblical times where this world is more connected than it's ever been. Everything is global now. I've got people here watching from all over the world that I would have never spoken to ever in my life, and you would have never known me. But now we have a global world. It's kind of a one world system now that has been taken over. And yeah, I think crypto is going to be a part of it. I really do. I think that digital currency, the digital currency by the Fed, see that's what's going to really take off. They're going to once the dollar begins to tank after the dollar's final hurrah, they're going to replace the dollar. Okay, so I think hyperinflation is going to cause the dollar to just tank. Okay, and once the dollar tanks, they're going to say, okay, we have the solution. We're going to go down to this digital dollar. Okay, so our Fed is ready to come in once we have our financial crisis and our food crisis and our shortages all over the world. The Fed is going to come in and say, we've got the solution. We're going to replace the fiat dollar with the digital system, and that's when crypto is really going to really take off. Okay, and where does Bitcoin fit in that picture? I'm not smart enough to know that. I don't know. Where does Ethereum fit in that? Where does your favorite crypto fit in that picture? I don't know. But here's what I do know: the governments aren't going to relinquish power to Bitcoin. Bitcoin isn't going to be the world's currency. I'm pretty certain about that. They are not going to allow Bitcoin to prosper apart from their either controlling it or destroying it, because they cannot relinquish their control over the global markets. They have to maintain their own. So they'll present you guys with their own digital currencies. China having its own digital yuan, United States having its own digital dollar, and so the world will move in that direction. That's my prediction. Where Bitcoin fits into that, I think it's just been the great Ponzi scheme just to get everybody to accept the idea that there's that currency, digital currency, has value. Shoot, I mean, it's trading right now at $62,000. Digital currency has value. I'm watching, a bunch of people are watching my live stream right now that uh, believes that the Bitcoin has value. What value does Bitcoin intrinsically have? Really none, other than the value that you give it. Okay, just the value that you get it. So, So yeah, I think price is going to keep rocking. It's probably going to rock probably up to about, again, between 68 and 75K. That's from a wave structure standpoint. That looks pretty decent to me. And then we have a very strong potential for this wave right here to come on down. Um, Andy, that may be the case. See you, buddy. Love you, man.
Love you too. And can you tell Grace to not tell me to go to bed ever?
Yeah. Yeah. Again, I'm just gonna ignore the chat, positive or negative. It's just not helpful for me right now. Um, as far as you know, Bitcoin, having value. It's only got the value that you guys anything has assigned it. Um, I don't know what's going to happen in the near future, and I don't know where Bitcoin is going to be. But looking at a chart, I see a market crash coming. Now, what's going to happen with that market crash? How's Bitcoin going to react? Well, I know how it reacted in 2020 when the market crashed for COVID. So it went down dramatically with that market. So I see a potential for a very big move to the downside coming. I don't know how big it's going to be. It could be what I've drawn on my chart. That's an Elliott wave structure we call a flat. Okay. Now I don't know that that's going to be the case. I can't say that with any certainty at all. Um, but that's a possibility. Sorry guys, I had to correct my children. Okay. Um, so anyway, there may be a pullback. This is an Elliott structure that could happen. Let me talk to you about. Let's go into the small time frame here and just take a peek at at what this wave is doing. Okay, because really this wave is going to be five waves. Okay, when that five waves is complete, then the market is going to have a pullback of some kind. There'll be a pullback, and so and is there a way for us to try to find that? Yeah, and yes, we have signs that we look for as Elliott wave traders. We have signs for the top. And I'm going to show you the signs that I'm seeing right now in the top that we're about finished with this wave. We're very close. Now, as I zoom in on this, I'm going to pull the fibs. Pull the fibs right here. Okay, and you'll notice we came to the 2618 with this wave right here. I'm projecting that is this 2618 area that we came to is the third wave. Okay, so I'm basically hypothesizing that the count is this is one, okay, and this is two. This is the third wave. Now we could be getting an extended third wave that comes up higher. So what might be happening right now is that we're finishing up the third wave. So I've got a proposed third here and a proposed third here. Okay. Either way, at the end of those, there's going to be a pullback before it goes back up to take the top out. I don't know that we're going to take the top out tonight. In fact, I believe we're finishing up a fifth wave and that we're probably going to pull back along with the S&P tomorrow, because I'm looking at the S&P pulling back tomorrow. Not a deep pullback, but not a complete dump, but just a pullback before another a rocket ship. So I see that as a strong potential. So I'm going to say that maybe we're getting the fifth wave of the third. We have a fourth wave. Maybe it flags out here as a fourth wave, and then we get a fifth wave move to the upside. that's probably the way it's going to play out. So this next week we're going to have a pullback here. It may take 2 to 3, 4 days for that to play out. Just depends on how long they want to drag out this corrective wave. This correction right here took from the 6th of October to the 13th. This took an entire week for this correction to play out right here. This this was a three-wave move right here. That's a running flat. Okay, so I'm going to suggest here that this is probably the top of 3, and we're going to take a week to a week and a half for this thing to correct. It could be quicker than that, but it probably correct out here, and then we pop again back up to anywhere from 68 to 75K for our 5th wave. So that's an idea there. But right now, let's look at this current wave right now, because I think we've got divergence. Okay, this is the 8-hour chart. We've got divergence. First off, we had divergence in this wave to this wave. Now that divergence this is very important to understand. Okay, very important to understand that this divergence was created by a flat. Okay, so this was created by a flat. However, this divergence between this peak and this peak is divergence being created between a 3rd wave and a 5th wave. Now that's critical to grab, guys, because it means that this 5th wave we're now getting divergence working between this wave and this wave. Okay, we've got local divergence right here, and we've got mountain peak divergence here, letting us know that we're putting in a 5th wave. This 5th wave is done. It's complete. It's almost done. It's complete. It's finishing up tonight. This current wave that we're in is finishing up. This is the 8-hour chart. We got divergence all over the place. So now let's zoom into this wave right here, guys. We're going to zoom in to this wave right there, and let's count these waves and see what we're getting on the smaller time frame. So look, we're going to go down now to about the 2-hour chart. Let's see the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart looks really good. Same way. How about the hourly? Yeah, let's look at the 2-hour chart. 2-hour chart, get us there. So I'm gonna mark this as the top of a 3rd wave. This right here was the bottom of a 4th wave. Now it could be the 4th of the overall move, or this could be the 4th of the 3rd. And I'm of the belief system that this was the 4th of the 3rd wave. That this right here is the 5th. Right there is the 5th wave of the 3rd wave. Either way, this is finishing up a 5-wave move with this current wave system. Okay, let me count the waves with you. We got, in fact, let me remove some of these fibs here. And this is how we find tops, guys. We look for the divergence that's set up on the different time frames and what their divergence is telling us, what wave that we're in. Divergence tells you what wave you're in. Okay. That's what divergence does. Tells you what wave you're in. Now this one was an expanded flat, so that also came with divergence. But we also have divergence between the 3rd and the 5th wave, and we're now getting ready to make a higher high here, and this is going to spike up here. This yellow line up here is my all-time high. I'm going to go down to the 30-minute chart, and let's just look at this wave right here. I'm going to pull the fibs on this current wave right now. There you go. We hit the 2618 right up here. Okay, so my proposed count is something like a 1, 2. All of that is 3. This is a 4th wave, pretty deep, but still okay. And then now we go up for a 5th wave, and that's going to finish up. Whenever this 5th wave finishes, this is going to finish up our 3rd wave move, and we're going to get another correction to the downside with all likelihood once this thing is finished. Okay. Now, I don't think this is going to be the ultimate bear move, guys. I don't think this is the ultimate top. I think we're going to get some kind of a flag, you know, long drug out fourth wave move. It's going to be big, and it's going to come down fast. Okay, it's going to come down fast, and then it's going to come back up and just start WXYing you to death. Okay, until finally it comes down back down to this region right here. Okay, something like that. And that ultimately will be our larger. This is the top of a third, and this is a larger fourth, and then we get a larger fifth wave. Then we'll go up and break the top, okay, and then we'll get up to about 68 to 75K, something like that. So that's currently how I'm looking at the wave system right now. Let me go to the 1 hour chart a little bit. I'm going to project where the top of that 5 could be. So this 4 is going to something like that. Yeah, 75 guys, anywhere from between 69 and 75K is a really nice target zone. That's kind of where I'm looking. So that's the way I would kind of track this current wave that we're in. So plan on, guys, this pump that we're getting right now. It's kind of a setup for this pullback that we're about to get. So we got some bearish signals coming. Again, on the 4 hour chart through the 8 hour chart is letting you know, guys. It's letting you know that we are bearish. Okay, we have the end of a third wave happened right there. The end of the fifth wave is happening in this range right here. Okay, and that's going to be the end of a third and a fifth. So this is going to end up coming down. So I'll give you a hint here per my strategy. Take it or leave it if you want. On your RSI, just a little trading tip. On your RSI, draw that line right there. If this comes up and creates divergence, okay, which is in the process of making, and this comes down and breaks that, okay, you're gonna get a deeper wave, most likely. You're gonna get a deep pullback. Now, I might be wrong with this count. Let me talk about what else it could be. Let me show you something else. I keep saying maybe 68 to 70K, but let me show you. We've hit the 1-to-1 extension. There's nothing saying on our chart that we have to go up and break the all-time high on this range. In fact, we might just come up and tag the all-time high, and that's all we get. And that's all we get. And this indeed, the count for this wave is indeed 1, 2. There's 3. This is 4. And now we just tag 5. Or we just barely break the all-time high. And then we come down for a deeper correction. That the divergence that I'm seeing on this chart actually supports that with greater likelihood than the first count that I gave. But I don't know. I'm just going to have to trade it as it comes and watch for the signs. But nevertheless, watch that line right there. Okay. Now, if this current wave breaks that divergence, okay, then that's actually a good sign for more up. So if this 4 hour candle comes up and breaks that top, that's actually a good sign for the first count that I shared. Now, if this starts coming down on the 4 hour chart without breaking this top right here, this count is a lot more plausible. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 finished, coming down from there. Big correction. Okay, it'll be over a $10,000 move. However, if this RSI comes and breaks that level right there, then it's more likely that we do get a pullback, but then a higher high will come later. Okay? Okay. Let's look at the 1 hour for a moment. Yeah, the 1 hour chart. Just to give you an idea, one of the ways I trade, I use RSI breaks. Okay, we had one right there. We had a break and a retest, which created divergence. Okay, actually it didn't create divergence, but we had the break and a retest, right? And so that was our short signal to short this wave if you wanted to short it. Okay, and then once, now on this time frame, we actually got in to this trade right in this range after the three-way pullback, and then today I said we could possibly go down another leg, which we ended up doing, and I added to my long from there. So we had a long entry there, long entry there. So our entry is somewhere in this region right here for this last wave to the upside. We use the fib levels to get in on that wave. What we did here is we pulled the fibs on the wave, and this came to the 786. Actually, I pulled it like that. There we go. This came to the 1-to-1. Was it pulled like that between the 786 and the 1-to-1? So, all right, guys. So that's what I'm looking at. So we're gonna really watch 4-hour chart. We're gonna watch these trend lines. Okay. I'm gonna watch and see if this breaks that high. Good night. I love you, honey. Come on. So what? I'll try. That was Grace saying good night. Okay. So now let's do some small time frame work on this last wave that we're currently in. 5-minute chart. All right. On the 5-minute chart, the way I would count this, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Maybe. I'd like to get up here and break this high. I think we need to. It would make sense that we do. We don't have any. Actually, this could be the top of 3 right there. Could be in the 4th wave now. And then we get the 5th wave. That's probably the way it is right there. Yeah, that's probably the top of 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I like that. So we're in the 4th wave now. Most likely, gonna get a pullback, and then a 5th wave. I would expect this to finish just breaking, not quite breaking the all-time high. But once this current wave finishes, I think this is going to finish this 5-wave move. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Whenever that's done, I think that's what it's going to do. Yeah, I love my kids, guys. Love my kids. That's my. I've got 3 of them. they know they got dad as a YouTuber. They think it's cool and funny at the same time. that I make a living running a Discord and trading and being on YouTube. That's their dream, of course. That's everybody's dream today. Make a living on YouTube. Um, so yeah, this current wave, we're almost done a five-wave structure. It can't go straight up forever, so we're close to being finished a five-wave structure. We're going to get the fourth wave now, and then maybe a fifth wave to come. I don't know how high that's going to get, but once that fifth wave is done, we'll have the divergence that we're looking for on the 15-minute chart and the 30-minute chart. We'll have divergence between this wave here and this wave. So if this comes up and takes that out, then this probably wasn't a third wave. That our count is something different. That we may have to look deeper at what this wave might be. So I really like the idea, just in summary, I like the idea that we're probably topping out right now with a third wave. Just watching this current wave action here. Give me a second. Yeah, Life of Brian, I wonder if he just joined me and made that comment ignorantly based on a title rather than the actual content of the video. I'm wondering. I'm just watching anxiously here because I think this fourth wave just completed here on the. So this is a fourth wave of something. Um, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Believe it or not, I'm walking on air. I never thought I could be so free. Oh man, MJ, you brought back. I used to love that show. Yeah, Lance. I had a 1, 2, 1, 2. Um, Life of Brian. If you were watching my channel from 28, 29K, I was calling bullish. Then you would have made money. And that kind of a comment, you listen to other people and you missed out. That says that you're not taking responsibility for your own decisions. That you listen to somebody else and got your own, you let somebody affect you and you don't have a clue how to make your own decisions. That's interesting comment for sure. I would never make my decisions off a YouTube channel. I certainly would listen to what somebody's got to say and make my own decisions. But we watch other channels for fun, but we respect everybody. That's the thing I like is just people that will come in and they might disagree with my TA, but they'll at least be respectful. That's what I appreciate. So you guys who disagree with me and just are courteous and respectful and understand the nature of this trading game, and appreciate you guys. Really, really do. Indeed. That's a big man right there. A big man. I love that. Very nice. Life of Brian. All right, lay off him. Um, yeah, so I'm looking at this as a fourth wave. Probably get a fifth wave hit here. Okay, and what you'll expect to see is divergence on the 5 minute chart. Okay, so what you'll want to see here is this to come up to make a lower high. Okay, and then once that creates that line right there, just draw that line right there. As this comes up, when you get a break of it with divergence, that's a good signal for a short or to take profit. It's not financial advice, but that's how I watch small time frames and look for tops. Yeah. Hey, let's take a look at Ethereum now. I think I've exhausted my Bitcoin analysis. Again, we're approaching the top of a wave. It's either the top of the larger move, or this is the top of wave three. Gonna get a fourth down and then a fifth. Okay, so I don't know which. But we're approaching the top of a wave. I know that this current wave that we're in is a fifth wave of some sort. So that's what I know. I know we're in the top of a wave. I don't know if it's the top. I don't think it is. I think this is the top of a third, and that we're due to get this week probably a pullback that's going to take a week to play out. It's going to be a corrective wave. We're going to play around at the all-time high up here before we go up next week for our last hurrah and get up, 70, 80K maybe, So those are possibilities. But right now, I think we're reaching the top that we're going to get a corrective move. So you shouldn't be FOMOing in right now. Please don't FOMO in right now. Okay? And be very careful in just in this range. Let's look at Ethereum and let's see what kind of congruence we have on Ethereum. Ethereum hasn't made the headway that Bitcoin has. But we got a three-way pullback. It looks like a really, really deep fourth wave, though. Looks like an ending diagonal. Third wave, fourth wave. Did not break the one, so that's good. Came back to the 50. That's good. But yeah, I'm not seeing this. It needs to get up a little bit faster for a fifth wave. Let's look at this thing from the bottom here. Yeah, I'd say one more hit to the high, guys, for Ethereum. And the way I'm counting this is if this is a 5-wave move, it could be 1, 2, sorry, top of 3 up here somewhere, 4, and then 5. That's looking pretty good. Got hidden bullish divergence all over Ethereum here. So that should pump pretty well. We've got bearish divergence, okay? So check this out. We got divergence between there and there, okay? And there and there, okay? So that's bearish divergence. That means this was the top of a third wave of some kind, and this was the top of a fifth wave. Or we're getting the top of a fifth wave right here, okay? And we should get some divergence on this move. This should pump to the upside here. We should get, guys, we're going to get a final pump on this wave right here. This is going to keep pumping a bit. It's going to break this high right here. It's going to get up here somewhere, but this is the fifth wave. So I need this to, I don't know how tall, I don't know how big it's going to get, but it's going to break this high, most likely. So when that does, Ethereum's also going to break its high as well. And it'll create divergence down here, and then we'll have divergence between those waves. I'll be ready for a move. Draw that line, break of that to the downside. Okay. Yeah, last week I called a pump and then a dump likely. And so Life of Brian, last Sunday's video was calling for a pump. Also, my last video that I created on my channel, right here, Bitcoin pump to 68 incoming. So Bitcoin correct. The video before that was Bitcoin was correcting but poised for a pump to 62K, question mark. And then I made a video 2 days later and said I adjusted that to 68K. So, and then last Sunday's video said Bitcoin pump and then dump incoming. We haven't got the dump yet. It's still pumping, right? It's still taking its time pumping. But anyway, so yeah, my last three videos, guys, or 2 videos have been bullish videos. But I'm always a sober bull, okay? Depends on the time frame, Chemo. Just depends on the time frame. There's some truth in that, but just depends on the time frame we're looking at. Like we could get a dump tomorrow. In fact, I'm predicting that we probably will. But it's probably just a fourth wave dump. It's not a big giant dump, right? So how are you going to define dump? Yeah, I don't. Not a big fan of. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Okay, can I possibly look at BTC RSI from the beginning of time? Yeah, yeah, Ryan. I mean, that's Think about getting a Jeep? No. Where did that come from? Ryan, I think your 75 target's right on. From beginning of time, let me just look at the. See on the 3 day, we've got lots of room for the upside here. So this thing could go much higher. Okay, if we just look at the 3 day chart, this thing could go to 100K no problem on the 3 day chart. So it very well, guys, very well could go to the moon, right? But which saw the video on my feed. No, yeah, I don't know. So yeah, this chart very bullish here. The weekly chart is very bullish right now. But what you have to understand is that these straight up run. We've had some straight up weeks where they're starting to get extended candles. Okay, it's due for another corrective pullback. That once this gets up here, it's gonna come down fairly deeply. Okay, this was a fairly deep little pullback right there. Okay, and had the potential to go down even deeper. But nevertheless, the RSI is making higher highs here. So we're bullish, right? But there is a potential dump coming soon. Okay, that we could either get a little pullback and then a higher high. Okay, something like that on the weekly chart. Boom, boom, red candle, then a green candle. It gets us up here. Then we could get a big wave to the downside that actually retests this thing before it goes up. You see this wave right here? Let me just point out this weekly wave here. See that run up right there? That's kind of what we're doing right here. And that was the wave right before the COVID dump. Okay, that allowed this to become a three-wave move. So beware, we're much more overbought here, much more overbought. Okay, this is probably the top of a wave 3, as overbought as we are. Okay, and this could be a wave 5. This totally could be a wave 5. Now I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking this could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It could do that. It could get that extended. But what if this was 1, 2 right there, 3, 4? We get extended 5th wave, and then we're done. Get divergence, okay, and then we go down. It's possible. It's possible. But yeah, there's a lot of potential there on the 3-day and the weekly charts. There's a lot of potential for a lot of upside there. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Well, okay. Looking on the weekly chart, guys, we were oversold here, oversold over. Look how long Bitcoin can stay oversold and hit the top again and again and again. So just because we're here doesn't mean that it can't come up here again and again and again and get up to 500K. Yeah. You know, yeah, the small time frame is what I really focus in on, guys. And the reason I do that is because it kind of helps you with the very next move. We're not dreaming about 100K right now because we're not going to hit 100K right now. We're not going to 100K this week. If we do, that'd be super surprised. Okay. Um, what I'm looking at is what's happening now. What's going on now with that I can trade. Okay. Yeah, lots of room for this thing to come up and create divergence here. Lots of room for this thing to come up. Monthly RSI looks, we're in a fifth wave. We're in a fifth wave. This is a fifth wave. That's what I would say. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're in a fifth, most likely. It's going to create divergence. It's got one more hit to the high. 75, I think, is a great target to watch for. I don't know what that would do on the monthly, but yeah, that would if it goes to the end of the month to get to 75K, yeah, then starts backing off. That would be good. So, all right, let's final thoughts here for BTC again. I'm looking at this as a potential 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're finishing the fifth of the fifth, or we bring 3 up here. That's getting ready to finish with a fifth wave, and then we have a fourth wave. I like this count better, by the way. Have a fourth wave, and then a fifth wave up later. So this week, kind of a dumpy sideways week, and then we impulse to the upside next week. That's the way I'm thinking about it. ETH, same way, looking for this top of the third. Looking for the top of the third. We get a fourth wave pullback all week, and then we get a fifth wave after that. Let's look at XRP. It's an interesting chart. So XRP, I think, finished something down here. And then this looks like it's making a three-wave move. That finished. This is 1, 2, or A, B, C. And this is a three-wave pullback, and now we're looking for another 3 waves up maybe. So it could be like a W, X, and a Y. And once that finishes, it would be down. But I'm not sure about that. I'm not so sure about that. Lance, what'd you give up on? XRP is showing hidden bull here. Got a nice rejection there after 3 waves. I don't have a hard time with the XRP chart. I need to see what's going to come down the pipe here. Oh, you gave up on XRP, yeah. There's a slight possibility this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't like that. I don't like that count at all. But it's possible. It measures like a. It's just a really deep fourth wave. Hey Jesse, thank you for that. Yeah, be glad to. So, very slight possibility that's a 5 wave move. Looks more like an ABC, and then a 3 wave, and we might get another ABC back up here, and then once we finish that, followed by a deeper down move. Ultimately W, X, and the Y. And that would be correcting this pump right here, that big correction right there. That's a long way out there, though. I don't know if that's going to play or not, but that's a possibility. Let's look at V-Chain. I always respond to super chats. Thank you so much. All right, V-Chain against Tether. Let's see what's going on. 2-hour chart. Let's go to the 8-hour chart and see what that looks like. What if this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5? What if that's a 5-wave move? A, B, C. So you got an A wave, B wave. Oh. I like that count. Let's look at 4, 3. What if that's 1, 2? What if that's 3? Three right there. 4 there. 5. Oh man, I'm tired. What is that? What is that wave? Three, 4, 5. All right, looks like a 1, 2 in the process. So I would think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excuse me. That's the best I got for V-Chain right there. Jesse, that's the best count I've got. You got a better count than that? What do you think, man? Yeah, that's the best I've got for you, buddy. Watch 13 to 14 cents. Watch that region. We'll see if it gets up there. See if it gets up there. All right, guys. I believe I am too tired to take requests tonight. So I'm just going to look at the ones I like to look at, and we'll call it good. Please don't request any. I'm not going to answer requests tonight. All right, unless it's accompanied with a super chat, then I have to listen to it. What is ADA doing, guys? What is ADA doing? I do not like the ADA chart. I don't know, guys. You're welcome, Scott, Heather. ADA. I can't. I'm having a hard time with ADA. It's not doing what I thought it was going to do. Have a look at Dash in a minute. Good night, Ryan. Take it easy, buddy. Yeah, that looks like a leading diagonal to the downside, guys, for Dash. Dash looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, man. Then a pullback. Maybe that's a flat right there. Boom, boom. One more wave to the upside. Only one more wave. Best I can tell. Yeah, ADA needs time. I just don't have a beat on the count. The structure it's making is super challenging. The alts are really challenging right now. Having a hard time with it. Well, guys, be careful for tomorrow. It looks like we're going to get a pullback. Probably after this wave is finished, this current wave is finished, we're going to get a pullback. Watch out for that. The ETF news is pumping this on the event. It's going to dump most likely. We're going to have a pullback in the SPX, the S&P 500. I'm looking for a pullback this week over the next several days, and then I'm looking for Bitcoin's last hurrah sometime at the end of next week, this week or next week. And then once Bitcoin finishes the last hurrah, I'm looking for a larger correction to the downside. So I see bearish signs ahead. We're approaching them. You need to be thinking about those things. Don't just get one-sided in Moon Boy. Don't be overly bearish either. Just try to stay as neutral as possible. But in my experience, most bulls don't pay much attention to bears. And I try to be when I'm bearish, I try to be as true to what the wave is giving me as possible. So, Eleanor S., thank you so much for that. Yes, I did look at ADA, but I don't have a lot of a big bead on that. I'll do a little since you gave a super chat, Eleanor. Let me see if I can do a little bit more work on it for you on the lower time frames. Okay. Stable coin. That's funny, Heather. That's hilarious. Okay, so here's what I see, Eleanor. First off, let me pull the fibs. So if I pull the fibs down here on the small time frame, we've got this move that came up to the 1618. Okay. This move right here came to the 127, 1414. So this move right here came to the 1618. We got a three-wave pullback with a fifth wave. It almost looks like, I don't like it, I don't care for it a whole lot, but it almost looks like a leading diagonal, leading expanding diagonal. Something like that. And that could be 3, 3. See, this is where it breaks down because that's 5 right there. So that's where the count breaks down. The count breaks down right in here. Makes no sense to me at all. But if I do it this way, if that's a 5-wave move, we just got a 3-wave pullback. But man, that's awful dumpy for 3-wave pullback. But we came down to corrective zone here with a 535 there. Okay, so now we're making, looks like we're making an impulse to the upside. Best I can tell, this is some kind of impulse. This could be a 1-2. Now we're getting a larger impulse to the upside. That's a possibility, or this could go up correctively. In other words, this could pump correctively up to the upside. That this was Here's another possibility I'm looking at here, and I like this one better. Ooh, I like this one. I like this one a lot. Um, there's aspects I don't like, but let's try this. Let's try this count. This makes sense of everything. So we're going to put this as a W right to there. We're going to call this right to here an X wave. And now we got a 3-wave move. See, that's my problem. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Sorry, let's try that again. We're going to go W to there. We're going to go X to here. And then we're going to go Y up here. I like that count. That makes sense. So my X wave is starting right here. 3 down, 3 up, 5 down. That's a flat right there. I bet you if I pull the fibs, it's perfect. Perfect enough for me. So if that's the case, then you could get an ADA pump. The best idea I can come up with right now, you may get an ADA pump up here to the 1414. But it's going to go down, it's going to go up in 3 waves. In other words, it's going to kind of come up and pump. It's going to come down when Bitcoin comes down tomorrow, and then it's going to go up when Bitcoin goes up again. And that's going to be the end of this correction. Okay? It's going to be the end of that move, and then we're going to follow. This is going to be followed by some kind of bigger down move. Eleanor, that's the best idea I have at this moment. Now I don't know if that's going to play or not. We all always adjust our counts along with um, along with the market. But based on what I'm seeing right now, that's a plausible count that we have a WXY correction. Okay, it's going to go up tonight and then pull back and then get up again for. So that's the best I've got for you for now. Okay, thanks for good question and thanks for watching the channel and thanks for that kind gift. I really appreciate it. Ryan Lewis, you want me to look at TLRY stock? Let's do it. TLRY. Is that Tilray? Is that right, Ryan? My pleasure, Eleanor. My pleasure. Ryan, is that the correct chart? Which one of those should I look at? Okay, NASDAQ, is that fine? It looks like an XRP chart. Oh, it's a weed company. Got it. Well, looks like some kind of an ending diagonal's happening right there. Looks like it's ready to go on up. You're probably due for a move like this right here. Right there. A move like that, Ryan. Best I can tell. There's no Elliott here but looking at the pattern, you're probably due for a move that's going to pop like this. So I'd expect some kind of a pop coming. Maybe a pullback with more downside or a 3-way pullback and then a continuation. Maybe that's the bottom. Maybe this was it. You got your pullback and then this is about ready to pop again. So yeah, it looks good to me, man. Soon, soon. Let's see if it breaks out of that wedge here. We got the wedge here in the RSI as well. It's the 4-hour chart. I'd say you got a really good trade on your hands, Ryan. If this breaks to the upside right here out of the RSI on the 4-hour. Really good trade on your hands. You'll probably get it, man. That looks pretty decent for a long. Not too bad at all. Thanks for joining us, guys. If you just popped in, just rewind it for the Bitcoin analysis. We're all done for Sunday night charts. You guys have a great night. If you're in the Discord, we're going to do Bible study here at 10 o'clock, 15 minutes. So invite you in. So all you guys, I hope y'all have a great night. Thanks for stopping by the channel. Y'all have a fantastic evening. And watch out, guys. We're pumping. We're pumping, but we're going to get a pullback this week. Probably a fourth wave is what I'm thinking. And there'll be some more upside. So I'll bring a video to update you through the middle of the week. If you want updates every day, you don't want to wait for my videos on YouTube, join the Discord. That's what it's for. And I teach people to trade there as well, and to learn Elliott in that environment. So with that said, all right, take it easy, y'all. Bye bye.